The news today is weather, and we're going to stay with this for just a little bit. In fact,
we got a new tornado warning, James, for Blount County.
Okay, so let's go up to this. This is a new tornado warning for Blount County, and this was just issued by the National Weather Service in Birmingham for this storm. And again, the possible tornadic circulation is going to be pretty close to Locust Fork. That's Highway 79. That's Highway 75. Aniana sits right here, and clearly Aniana is in the tornado warning polygon. So is all good. So if you are in Locust Fork, back over to Aniana. We need you to be in a safe place. That is, and by the way, let me just say that Cleveland is not in this warning. This is the extent of the polygon right here. And there's a look at the couplet that is approaching Highway 75. All good, and probably going to stay a little south of Aniana. But still, if you're in the town of Aniana, you want to stay in your safe place. You do not want to be in a car. You do not want to be in a manufactured home. This is when you go to your safe place, and that rotation is still fairly broad. It's not the tightest we've seen, but again, based on the damage that we saw in Cullman County, we think that the right course of action is to be in a safe place. Let's go back to Max 1 behind me, and again, this will be a different look at the rotation signature, and again, it's clearly located right here. That's Highway 79. In fact, right now, we can give an all clear if you're along Highway 79. Locust Fork is sitting right here. The circulation is now east of you, and the circulation next will be crossing Highway 75, which is right here. And again, you've got all good here, Aniana here, Highland Lakes over here. So from Aniana south, right down Highway 79, all the way down to Rimlap, we invite you to be in a safe place in your home. Lowest floor, near the center, small room, hall, closet, bathroom. And you don't have to be underground, just first floor. If you got one floor, you're good. But again, the main call to action here, no mobile homes and no cars. You can't be in those during a tornado warning polygon. And again, that's your circulation right here, moving east, and that's going to be putting it across Highway 75 just below Aniana. In fact, I was at the middle school yesterday morning, which is on Highway 75, just maybe a mile south of downtown Aniana, a mile south of the courthouse here. So everybody, again, from Aniana down to Rimlap, down to Southeastern School down here, that's where you want to be in a safe place for the possibility of a tornado that's located right here. Let me show you what this storm did earlier. Let's take WEX 05. This is some damage, Charles, from this same parent storm in Hanceville, or northeast of Hanceville. And this is up around the community of White City. And this clearly could have been, obviously, from looking at that, a small tornado. The Weather Service will come in and do an assessment of the damage tomorrow. But this is what the storm in Blount County did in Cullman County. And often we have learned if you see what the storm has done, you tend to want to take action. And again, that's some of the damage that was coming in from the community of White City, just a few miles north of Hanceville earlier today. And that is the storm that is now coming through Blount County.
This is live video from White City. This was this same storm caused some damage further back, just north of Hanceville, and you can see the damage that it caused earlier. And I think our reporter Andrew Donnelly is up there, and you can see some of that video coming in. And again, some structural damage for sure. Definitely have some issues there, and we'll see this as it continues. So. Roof off mobile home, County Road 609, and we've got a house damage on the road 609 as well. So again, White City community, again, that's just north of Hanceville. So again, we saw that damage. This is the same storm that's moving from Blount into northern parts of St. Clair and into Etowah County here.
Nobody should be driving, and yes, I understand that it's time to go home from work. It's 5:30. People want to get home, but the best thing you can do to stay safe is to stay at your office. If you get off at 5 o'clock or 5:15 or 5:30 and don't go home, because the worst conceivable place to be, it's driving in a car. You want to be in a good sheltered location, and typically office buildings offer that on the lowest floor. So the advice, it's just to take a big deep breath. Your folks will wait on you. They will understand. I promise. And if they're mad at you, they can just get mad at me. You need to be safe. Nobody should be driving. And there's your tornado warning polygon. This includes a large chunk of Gadsden's metro area. Again, Rainbow City, Southside, Glencoe, Hokes Bluff, Attala, all of these communities around Gadsden involved in this. And this is the Cherokee County line right up in here. This is U.S. Highway 411 going up toward Weiss Lake, Leesburg, and Center. And the warning has been cleared now for Blount County. So the warning is over for Blount. If you're in Blount County, we'll give an all clear. The warning continues for northern St. Clair. And again, this is Etowah County right here, that little panhandle that sticks out right there, and then back over into the Gadsden metro area.
Roof damage where shingles have been taken off. I know we had a roof off a barn, livestock getting out when fences go down with trees on them, those kind of things.
Sheriff, priority one, once you kind of assess and you make sure everyone is in fact okay, there's no injuries, where do you go from there?
You know, our main priority that there's no injuries, and then to start getting people that needed help. You know, we've got great first responders on scene. You can see all the firefighters here. We got firefighters from different agencies. We got Coleman EMS that's on scene, and they're just providing support for the community and to get those people help.
But again, it's going to be coming across the southern part of this polygon right down in through here. And again, this is a very dangerous storm. So this is a confirmed tornado based on radar that is coming through St. Clair County. And we know that you that watch often will not do anything when we show radar. We've learned that through social science studies, but we would prefer that you just take our word for it and understand that there is great danger here and that you need to do something about that. So we want you in that safe place until we say that the warning has been canceled or the warning expires. And again, especially the concern now, it's along and east of U.S. Highway 231, back over here toward Raglan. Again, this is some video looking back into the storm. It's well to the east of Odenville now. But while we focus on St. Clair County, let's not forget Blount. Let's take a live shot coming in from Alabama Highway 75. This is at Allgood. This is south of Aniana. And this is where we believe a tornado crossed that major highway, and at one point the road was shut down, and it looks like it still could be in the process of being shut down. Power lines are down across the road, so if you are trying to get from Birmingham to Aniana, you're going to have to take an alternate route, maybe come up through Locust Fork and come in the back way. But again, Alabama Highway 75 near Allgood is shut down because of trees and power lines that are across the road. These folks are doing the best they can to clear those roads in these very adverse conditions. And speaking of that storm, I want to go back to WEX 05 very quickly and show some images of damage on Straight Mountain. This is the same storm that produced this damage up on Straight Mountain. This is mainly tree damage, and it looks like a shed or some type of structure there was damaged as well. And again, there's some roof damage to this home right here. So again, this is the same storm that produced the damage you saw there south of Aniana on Highway 75. That was up on Straight Mountain. So let's go back to the live shot quickly. We're not going to stay there long. We're going right back to our dangerous storm. But again, this is the current situation in Blount County, where we've got power lines and trees down blocking Alabama Highway 75. And again, this is at Allgood, which is just south of Aniana, just a few miles south of the high school, the Aniana City School complex there. You can see that utility pole has been snapped in half, and this could very well be a tornado. We had a very well-defined velocity couplet coming through there at the time, and we've got other reports of damage in some of the adjacent areas, for example, like on Straight Mountain. Let's take remote 3 real quick. This is Bill Castle. Bill's in Blount County, and he's got a tree down through a trailer. I think Chris and Brenda, you guys went in on this too. I showed a still image of this a few minutes ago.
You did.
It's the same trailer, I think.
You did, and we have Bill Castle on the scene. We have a crew on the scene right now. You can see there's severe damage with a lot of trees down. Also noticed that the power lines were down in that area, and that coincides, Chris, with a high number of people without power in that area too.
7,000 statewide, but as Bill continues to pan left, and I don't know if Bill can actually hear me talking, there's an ambulance on the scene just moments ago. There it is right there. And when you see these images, now our concern turns to potential injuries, and you saw the number of trees down in this area. First responders there on the scene, and I know I don't know if Bill has a reporter with him. Is Bill able to talk to us at all?
Megan should be there.
No, he's
shaking the camera. No, he's by himself, but of course helping us tell the story here. But look at the damage off in the distance there as well, Brenda.
And we wonder if there are some injuries in this area. We hear that this area has gotten hit very hard. Of course.
And I'm sorry, let me interrupt. If we could double box this, we've got still a tornado warning. I want to be sure.
Go ahead, James.
Go ahead, take it away.
I want to be sure we double box this. Let's double box Bill's damage and the storm in Calhoun County. Okay, so. We've got a report on the Weather Service chat, and this is coming from Calhoun County 911. Charles, this is a report of a tornado near Alexandria moving east. We can't confirm that, but again, this is just to let you know that we still want people in northern Calhoun to be sheltered. What you're looking at, this is damage from Allgood in Blount County from a storm that came through earlier. That's from Bill Castle. That's the box you're seeing on one side, but we're going to stay on this side because we still have a possible tornado that's very close to Angel and Pleasant Valley School and getting close to Jacksonville. So we want everybody in Jacksonville to stay sheltered. This is some of the imagery we have coming in from near Alexandria, you see here. This was taken not too far from the elementary school. And again, there's no evidence of a tornado here, but that's a pretty well-defined lowering. And remember, you can't see a lot of tornadoes in this state because of hills and trees and buildings and structures like that. But again, that was taken in Calhoun County, fairly close to Alexandria about 10 minutes ago. This is a shot from Jacksonville looking back toward the state trooper post. That looks like a wall cloud. That looks much more ominous right there. This was looking north from the state trooper post in Jacksonville. And again, that looks like a pretty well-defined wall cloud right there.
They're calling it for Calhoun County.
Okay, so they've canceled it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's gotten very disorganized on radar. So let's go back to Max 1 behind me. We are now giving an all clear to Calhoun County. The National Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning. You now can get out of your shelter and go about your business. The tornado warning for northern Calhoun has been canceled. We have had no damage reports here. The Talladega National Forest, and for now we're not seeing that. But this is a dangerous storm that's about to cross you. In fact, it's crossing US 82 right now. Next, it'll be crossing Highway 139, probably a little south of Randolph. And again, this is in the far, far southeastern corner of Bibb County. This is Chilton. This is Bibb right here. This is Chilton over here. That's Highway 191 right here. So understand that we are going to watch this carefully. And while we are talking in the other boxes, you are seeing a number of different sources. We've had a lot of damage in other counties. We've had tornado damage in counties like Cullman and Blount and St. Clair. We have heard of no one injured from these tornadoes, and I say tornadoes, we assume them to be. Some of this might be from damaging straight line wind, but based on the radar signatures, I think it's safe to say we probably have some smaller tornadoes passing through those counties earlier this evening. And we're watching the cleanup efforts going on in the other boxes on your screen. We're having the large box for this. Okay, middle box is Blount, the bottom box is St. Clair. Blount County is near Allgood, that's south of Indiana. The St. Clair damage is near St. Clair Springs and U.S. Highway 411 near the correctional facility, the large prison there, the state prison in St. Clair County. And again, these were two separate storms producing damage at both of those locations. This was a shot from Dodge City. So this is the first shot we're seeing of this storm. This was when it was crossing Interstate 65 and Alabama Highway 69 South. Highway 69 South going down toward Bugtussle and Jasper. Again, there's no evidence of a tornado in this shot, but again, that's a lowering back on the right rear flank of that storm. And that was taken near Dodge City probably about 5 minutes ago based on the timing we've seen here. In fact, here's a more current image. This is from Dodge City at 4:04. So this was 9 minutes ago. And again, you can see, I'm not saying that's a tornado, but there's certainly a lowering there. It looks like a wall cloud. And whether there is a tornado in there, we don't know at this point, Charles. But I've not heard of any damage so far from looking at all the reports coming in from the sky watchers we have.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that.
In fact, let me show you one more that just came in here. That was at 4:06, and that's at Dodge City. So that was Dodge City at 4:06, and this is the storm that is prompting this tornado warning, and that circulation is now very close to or maybe just north of Hanceville. And again, I know we have other storms in progress in the state now, but we're focusing on this storm, and that this is the storm that the only one we have now with a tornado warning at this point.
Andrew Donnelly is north of Hanceville in White City, where storms ripped through homes and a community center. And Andrew, the good news is everyone appears to be all right.
Chris and Brenda, it's really incredible to look at all this damage here and to believe that nobody was injured in this storm. The family who lives here did, however, lose some animals. They tell me they raised chickens and bunnies. And after this storm blew through, it blew cages across the road here, hundreds of yards away. Unfortunately, they lost a handful of chickens, but they say they never go in the basement. Today, they decided to go to the basement to shelter from this storm, and they're happy they did. Everyone is okay. Trees went through the home, and of course, you can see the massive trees in the front yard here, sheet metal. Their barns actually are hundreds of yards across the roadway here. Just a scary situation, but everyone here did come out okay. I spoke with the Coleman County Sheriff's Office earlier today, and the sheriff tells me that no injuries have been reported in this area or in all of Coleman County, at least serious injuries.
Well, Brenda, as you can see, it's still pitch black darkness here. Just this house right here behind me is one example of the extent of damage these residents here in this small town of Allgood are dealing with tonight. From time to time, we can see the glow of flashlights moving about in the darkness, and residents like these over at this house in the corner using whatever light they can to get through this evening.
I tried to get out, but when I tried to get out, it hit just that quick.
Tanya Starling still in shock at how quickly Thursday storms pummeled her neighborhood.
Tree branches and stuff hit the trailer. A lot of trailers were taken out. A lot of people lost their vehicles, and everybody's just trying to cope with it right now.
Starling home alone when the storm hit.
That's the worst thing that anybody can go through, being in there by themselves.
Strong winds knocking down power lines and snapping trees, throwing the debris on top of many of these mobile homes.
It's very emotional trying to look at all of it. It's a lot to take in.
The power lines and trees covering portions of Highway 75 this afternoon, shutting the road down for hours. Now, crews spent a good amount of their time today here in this portion of the Allgood community, which is closest to the highway, Highway 75. We do still see a few units out and about clearing out damage, and we also see some flashlights going about as well. Live here in Allgood, Jennifer Gonsalves, ABC 3340 News.
The storm started off today mainly producing hail. We had a lot of hail between noon and 4 o'clock, and then about 4 o'clock we started the tornado warnings, and we had constant tornado warnings between 4 o'clock and 9 o'clock. This was a 5-hour siege of severe weather, if you will. And what's going to happen, the Weather Service will send survey teams in tomorrow to determine exactly what's happened here. More than likely, what you're seeing here, this was a tornado. The velocity signatures certainly supported that, and we'll know the EF scale rating tomorrow. And the one thing I'm, very thankful for tonight, to my knowledge, we've had no injuries in the state.
That's right.
And we know of tornado damage, or wind damage at least, in a number of counties, including Coleman, Blount, parts of St. Clair counties had the damage this evening. Of course, parts of Chilton County had the damage this evening. But there were pretty good warnings for all of these tornadoes, and I think people heard the warning, they paid attention, and they did the right thing.
Yeah. If you notice, one of our reporters even alluded to the fact that there was a family that did not normally go to their basement. Today they went to their basement, heeded the warnings. Their house pretty much was destroyed.
Right, and I think part of it might have been the Lee County situation from March 3rd, earlier this month. We had 23 people that died, and we all realized that we've all got work to do. I mean, this is serious business. We have to pay attention to warnings. We have to be better at communicating warnings, and I think the process worked very well today, statewide. And we've still got a few issues this evening, but thankfully things are winding down tonight.
I know that every time we have one of these events, James, you say that you always learn something, that you're always learning. Is there something, I know you haven't had a moment to digest everything. Is there something from today that maybe you've learned?
Well, the question is, we had this long-lasting thunderstorm that was producing a tornado all the way from northern Perry County. This is north of Marion, south of Brent, north of Clanton, into Coosa County, into parts of Clay County. And the conditions normally would not support that. So the question is, what was that? Was it some type of a boundary? We'll find out in coming days. But there's always questions, and we'll always get answers. But let's talk about what's going on right now. Let's go right to the Skycam network. This is a live look from our Skycam coming in downtown Birmingham. We have thunderstorms around, but they are not severe, at least in the Birmingham metro. Let's check the watch warning map. We currently have a tornado watch that's in effect now for about the central part of Alabama. This is basically for areas east and south of Birmingham, the counties here in yellow. And we do note there is one warning polygon here. That is a tornado warning in effect for Randolph County. That's for a storm that is moving over into Georgia. We have a warning for DeKalb County in northeast Alabama. Other than that, there are no active warnings. Here's the radar. We still have some loud, noisy showers and thunderstorms in progress across the state, generally south of a line from near Northport to Cullman to Scottsboro. The storms will gradually fade away after midnight tonight. We might see some lingering showers early tomorrow morning. We'll check some of the heavier storms in progress. This is the storm that prompted a tornado warning for Randolph County. Randolph County is in the Atlanta television market, not ours. That's the reason we didn't provide wall-to-wall coverage. This storm is moving over into Georgia. This came across the town of Wadowee. We have not heard of any damage reports from that storm as of the last 15 minutes or so. Down to the south, we have a heavy storm coming out of Elmore County. For a while, Elmore County was under a tornado warning. Now that storm is sitting over Lake Martin. It is under severe limits. There is no formal warning in effect there. Closer to home, big storms in progress now from northeastern Jefferson County up through parts of St. Clair and Etowah counties. And again, thunder, lightning, heavy rain, gusty winds, but the storms are currently under severe limits. The storms will be ending from northwest to southeast over the next 8 hours. And once we get these things out of here, a nice, long, dry spell is ahead. This is tomorrow morning at 6:30. The chance of a few lingering showers, mainly east and south of Birmingham. We should be in the 50s. The sky clearing. The sun should be out tomorrow afternoon, but noticeably cooler. Some spots today saw highs around 80. Tomorrow, highs around 60 with a northwest wind. By Saturday morning, we're going to see some 30s in colder pockets, like 37 for Cullman, 39 for Aniana, Birmingham at 42. Saturday should be a sunny day, the high only in the 50s, and by Sunday morning, many spots will see frost on the ground with a freeze for the colder pockets across North Alabama. Our forecast for tonight, showers and thunderstorms turning cooler after midnight. Lows should be in the low 50s, around 51. Tomorrow, rain ending early in the day, the sky becoming partially sunny, the high 63, a northwest wind at 7 to 14. Up on the 7-day, look at that long dry spell ahead. How about that? Saturday and Sunday will be sunny. The high Saturday 59, the high Sunday 64. Lows for the weekend in the 30s. Next week, rain-free, mostly sunny days and fair nights. Highs should be in the 60s and lows mostly in the 30s and low 40s. Catch my forecast tomorrow morning with the Rick and Bubba Show on Birmingham's 104.7 WZZK. So the whole severe weather event winding down, which is good. And we really could use a long dry spell, and we've got one.